Here I am in the north face. I think this is the north side of the workshop, the rarely trodden bits. It's where all the dirt and rubbish ends up. I won't go into too much detail there. I'll probably embarrass myself. So I've got some brass over there hidden behind a bit of board. Just give it a little bit of protection so it doesn't get scratched up. But the main thing I wanted to talk about today was this thing, a swage block. It's a blacksmith's piece of equipment, generally, a blacksmith's swage, and would be a lot more mobile in its use than perhaps I use it. So all of these bits here could be done to put bends into metal, into work. You could put stakes into these to bend work around. They can hold specific tools. They're just a general sort of universal mishmash of shapes that you could then put stuff into and know that it's got a heavy base. At least that's my understanding of how a blacksmith would use a swage block. I use it, I do tend to use some of these holes. Hang on a second, put my finger out of the way. So this one, you can see in the past I've rounded the edge because I use that as a bit of sinking, same as this one. If I've got to touch something in, that's a nice shape for. But because they're blacksmith's tools and these are generally cast, the edges are quite nasty and you need to sort those out. Now I was very, very fortunate to be gifted this by the chaps at Now Strike Archery. I'll put a link below so you can see what they do. Do fantastic bow and archery, arrowy type stuff. I know all the technical terms. I'm protecting the guys that they're shooting at. So what do I use this for? I use it as a strong base for holding various stakes and tools. So one of the common ones I use, you've seen a few times on videos, is this. So it's the bottom side of a oxygen cylinder, I believe, some sort of cylinder, and what I do is pop that in there, pop that on there, and then this can't, as it walks around, it can't go bouncing off anywhere. Other tools, let's have a look. I'll just pile them in without too much consideration as to a working environment. So there we go. One of those beasties. He fits in that one beautifully, and you just find holes that work well. I've got this little anvil. Oh, I don't actually think he's an anvil, which I use when I do historic shows in places because he's nice and small, and it shows you don't need a large working surface to be able to strike. And he just sits in there, make arrows. You can make all sorts on there, to be honest, planish breastplates and anything. That's why I went for breastplate, but you can planish anything that works on there as well. I can sometimes take this one off. Again, you'll have seen this in some of my videos. Pop him there. This is difficult with one hand. Oh, come on. We'll get there. Oh. There we go. Pop that there. And then there you go. And that sits nicely. And now I have that small stake in place that I use for greaves and van braces and bits and pieces when I want to. Something else missing. Oh yeah, the big one. These are the regular beasts that go in there. Not like this all at once. I have this monster. Oh, I may need two hands for this one. I'll drop it on my toe otherwise. But he sits. What do we reckon? One hand. Could we have? Oh, my film there. Sorry. Could we have our first bit of film footage for the mistake channel? Oh, see if I can earn 200 quid so I squash my foot. Oh, it's in the wrong one, but there you go. I normally have him in that one. There's a metal plate underneath there. Stop it going. And I use that to push things around on and so on. But again, you know, you can build a nice station. I've seen some lovely stations recently on the United League of Armourers made out of oak sleepers, and I keep promising myself, I step back, to build one to put in that space and remove a lot of this stuff, so it's all purpose built. But what I've found with purpose built bits and pieces is sometimes you can end up with tools that don't fit and you're still messing around. Whereas with this large piece here, take the tool in, take the tool out, doesn't take a lot of time, and there's normally, because you're working in distinct process, a distinct method, you can normally work on the bit down here, then work on this, and then work on that, and then work on this. And everything can come on and come off as it's required. So if you see one of these swage blocks, it is a blacksmith piece of equipment, but it's fantastically versatile and can be used for a whole plethora of armouring jobs, as well as just holding stakes. It's fantastic for that. So these things tend to get put into place, and that's where they die. They just remain there forever. So again, let me take that hammer away. It's confusing the shot a bit. I hope that's useful. If you see one of these lying around and it's cheap enough, grab it, because they're so useful. Really are, even for armouring. Such useful pieces of equipment. So a blacksmith swage, and I'm eternally grateful for having been given it, because it's just a fantastic tool and has saved me so much time and effort, even in just trying to find somewhere decent to put stakes as I use them. So there you go. Again, I hope that's useful to you. If you see one of these lying around, you know what it is if you didn't already. They come in different shapes and sizes, but grab it, for heaven's sake. If the price is affordable, snatch hold of it, because they're so useful. Yeah, just a fantastic tool that gets used every single day that I'm in the workshop. So blacksmith swage, keep your eyes open for them, grab them if you can, and away you go. So stay safe in these strange times, and I hope that was useful.